Hi, and welcome to the attic. I'm Sherry with Cher's Craft Addict, and today I'm going to show you how to make your very first sublimation tumbler. I'm going to show you a few products you need and a couple of items that I find are useful. So the first thing you're going to need is a tumbler. I prefer the 20-ounce tumbler, and I prefer to use a heat press. Now, many people like to do them in an air fryer, in a convection oven, or even a toaster oven. However, my preferred method is in a tumbler press, and I use a 30-ounce tumbler press. And we'll have a video at another date and time with different presses and what is the best one to use. But today we're going to show you the 20-ounce tumbler and how to sublimate it. So the first thing you're going to need is a sublimation tumbler. You can get these at many places. You can order them online, on Amazon. I found a supplier through Alibaba, and we can do a video on that if anyone's interested. Drop a comment below if you're interested in learning how to order stuff from Alibaba. So I have the 20-ounce tumbler. You're going to need one of these. You're going to need a cloth. I like these microfiber cloths. I get the Walmart ones. They're, they last forever and a day. You can throw them in the wash, but they don't leave lint. So you're going to want one of those. You're going to need some sort of scraper. In a pinch, a credit card would work, but if you have a scraper or one of the Cricut scrapers, the Dollar Tree has these great little scrapers. They're just like the Cricut ones, but you want something that you can scrape and be tough with. You're going to need some heat-resistant gloves. I like these ones. They're pink. They came with my purple heat press. You're going to need some tape to tape your sublimation tumbler wrap around it. I found this tape dispenser on Amazon, looking for one for a while. If you haven't figured out, purple is my favorite color. But what's nice about this tape dispenser is if you click it, it's going to cut the tape in perfect, of course it's not going to do that, perfect little strips. So that's what's nice about this. And I also use a thinner tape, if you can see it. I'm not sure if you can see it or not. It's not very thick. I get it on Amazon, and then I use a thicker tape for just down the middle. I've seen lots of people use painter's tape and wrap it up really tight. I found I don't need to do all that wrapping. We got this down. I'm going to show you how to do it. And then you're going to need some little poker or scraper. If you have good fingers and aren't afraid of getting them burned, you can use those. Also, I have a set of, you can see these are well-loved tweezers. I got these on Amazon as well. And I can post the links down below for all of this stuff as well. And then you're going to need some form of paper cutter or scissors. I prefer a rotary cutter. I find it's the best thing to use. And this is my rotary cutter. It's big. I can use it for all shapes and sizes, and it has the rotary. You can use the little Cricut ones. You can use the Fisker ones. You can even use scissors. But I prefer this, and this is just what I really like. And you can change the blade, but they last for a really long time. And you can kind of get going, and then you have your measurements here too. Then you're going to need your sublimation print. If you don't have a printer, you can go online, look on Facebook, look on Etsy, look on Google. You can buy these prints on just about anywhere, and you'd want a sublimation print. And this is my beginner print, and it says lions. I call this my beginner one because when you're first starting out, you're going to have a hard time wrapping the tumbler tight enough that you don't get ghosting and that you don't get edges that have like missing pieces. And the reason why I say this is my beginner is because there is these paint brush marks here. So if you kind of screw up, it's not going to be as noticeable. The places you're going to have the biggest issues on your tumbler is going to be at the top and the bottom, and then the seam where the two pieces meet. This here does not have two pieces that meet. We will do another video in the future on perfect seams. But today we're showing you the basic tumbler for beginners. So then we're going to need one of these. So the first thing we're going to do is cut this to size. We're pretty lucky on this one because we don't have to do too much cutting on it and too much to be exact, because this is just going to fit in the middle of the tumbler. We don't need to line it up. We don't need to match it. But we will show you one also on how to match in perfect lines and seams in another video. So this is for the very beginner, just trying out. The thing that we're going to do is cut this down to size. And like I said, this is a pretty basic. We do not need to be exact. However, I use 9.5 by 8.4. My height is 9.5. My width is 8.4. Now I know all those folks who do tumblers out there are like, she is out of her ever-loving mind. That is probably too big. I'm going to tell you why it's too big, because any of your main design is going to be down in your piece of paper, and then you're going to have a little bit up here. I like to go just a smidgen bigger so that when I cut, and I don't know if you can see it here, I can go right into the color just a smidgen of a little bit, and I make sure I have a nice clean edge. So that's why I go a little bigger than what I need. So now we have our design, and you always want to print your designs backwards. Because remember, what you put this on and you print is going to print backwards. So I always take the top off. I like to wipe down my tumblers, make sure there's no particles on it. Some people even use a lint brush. I don't use a lint brush because I find it makes it kind of sticky, tall. So I'm going to cut a little bit more off, and I'm not touching the tumbler. See how I'm not touching that? I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to cut a little bit off. Okay. I'm going to cut a little off the other end too. And that's what I like about these paint strokes. You can't even tell that I took anything off for beginners. Okay. Now, again, I have it the right way up. My photo that's going on here is the right way up, my design. And then I'm going to wrap it. Okay. And what I love about these half ones, or just the middle of a tumbler, is that I don't have to get it, you know, like perfect. And see how you got the gap there? This is also good if you buy colored tumblers. You can get pink ones, you can get blue ones. And again, when you buy tumblers, you need light colors. Anything with sublimation, you need light color. You can even do on stainless steel, but they have to have the poly coating on them. But I like these, again, for beginners, just learning the process. So I get it on there, and the first thing I'm going to do is just tape down one side, nice and tight. Okay. Now this one, I'm just going to make sure it's pulled over tight. And I have this little trick I do. I go around with my fingers. See how I do that? Go around with my fingers. Okay. And I'm not letting go. I'm just getting nice and tight. Okay. And you want this tight. Now you tape this piece down. So you got this tight. Now you can go through. You can turn it upside down. You can whatever. And you know it's the right way, because I'm going to tell you I have on more than one occasion printed them upside down. My husband and my son would tell you all about that. So now I'm just going to go through and tape the edges. Now you can do one long strip of tape. I like these little ones, just like that. There's no rhyme or reason how I do it. It's just what I do. And then I'm going to tape along this one here. I like these little ones because I don't have to worry about the tape folding over or anything like that. Okay. Now, I always use, even if I'm not having a seam down the middle, I always go over the tape lines. And it doesn't matter what I'm taping, what I'm doing, I'm going over these lines because I want this as tight as I can get to the tumbler. Okay. We don't want any air in here. We do not want any bubbling or prints that's not going to take. Then I take my thicker tape. Now this is just something I like to do. And I just cut a piece off. And I like to wrap around the top. And I do this on the full wraps and the partial wraps. And then you're coming around here and you're just kind of making sure that there's a nice seal with the tape between where the tape is and where the mug is. And this one doesn't go all the way to the top, but if it went all the way to the top, you would just kind of make sure there's no wrinkles as you go. So this goes all the way down and around. Okay. And then I just run my finger down the edge here with your thumb or your finger. Then flip it up. Now you're going to flip it around and you're going to do the bottom. Same situation. You're going to go all the way around. And just make sure you're getting it nice and tight. And you're looking to see, I also do one last little look to see if there's any marks or wrinkles, sorry. And then you just fold this under. So now your tumbler is wrapped. Again, this is a partial piece. This isn't the full wrap, and we will do a video with the full wrap later. But this is how I wrap all my tumblers, full wrap or partial wrap. It seems to work the best. Then I'm going to take this over to the heat press, and we are going to press it. It's pretty cool. All right. Hi, we're over here to our heat press. We're just waiting for it to come up to temp. The manufacturer suggests on this heat press to heat it with a tumbler inside of it. So I do that. Now I am going to open it and close it, otherwise it's going to beep real quick. So this is just a tumbler I keep here. You can keep one of your old ones that maybe has a scratch in it. I do not keep one that has been pre-printed. It's just a regular one. And over here I also have different size ones because I can change this to do coffee mugs, glass cans, the 4-in-1s, water bottles. So you can pretty much change this to do just about anything. So I do keep a couple different sizes over here because you do need to go this to get up to 355 degrees. And there it is. And it just made like a little click. I don't know if you could hear it or not. And I left my nice, cute other little gloves on the table. So we're going to use these ones. So we're just going to take the old one out, the one I used to heat it up. I put it off to the side so I don't burn myself. This tumbler, I'm going to put right in here. And I'm going to make sure that this tape line is down below the edge. Okay. Now I'm going to come down on this. You can see that there is a gap here. That gap is why you would normally rotate your tumbler if you were doing a full wrap, because that piece is not going to sublimate. So you'd have to rotate it. We do not have to do this again because this is a starter tumbler that is not a full wrap. And you're saying, Sherry, how tight does this have to be? Well, when you put it in there, it just has to be tight enough that you can't push the tumbler through. If it's too loose, you're not going to get a good print. If it's too tight, you risk burning it. Remember, brown is burnt, green is undercooked. So you want to make sure that you have the perfect pressure. And it's loud. Mine's loud. You open it up, take it out, and you're going to let it cool for a couple of seconds because it's really hot. Now you're going to see a tip that I've learned here, because lots of times I'll be doing 10, 15, 20, 30 tumblers at a time, and you do want to give your press a break in between. After so long, you don't want to run it for more than an hour because you will burn out your pads. So you want to let it cool down because it gets hotter as it goes. And I just have a little magnet that I keep here, and then I have my little weeding tool, pulling tool, just stuck right there. Good tip, nice little tip to have. And then I always keep mine closed, and then I shut it off. I do have mine in a power strip, so I shut off the power strip when I'm done as well, because I am always worried about the house burning down. You always hear horror stories. So we're going to take this back over to the table and unwrap it. We'll be back in just a moment. I do it. for these ones, and again, this is the half tumbler. I go in here and I grab, and this is cooled down just a smidgen, and I've done these so many times I can pick them up hot. My son, who is 12, he'll tell you, too hot. So I just come in here and do this. You could do this with your gloves on. I'm just so used to it. Now, I always find that it's kind of a pain in the patootie to get this tape off. So I just poke a hole and get a little rip started, and then I just pull it off. And then there's a little trick I have here, and I don't know if you can see it. But when you get this pulled, and watch me not be able to do it right now. So when you get this pulled around, it's going to catch that first tape there. See how it's catching it? Pull really quick. No, of course it's not going to work.
It never works when I try it.
If you haven't seen us on our Facebook Lives, and he is my cameraman. Okay, so then you're just going to get this bottom piece undone. And again, there's no rhyme or reason or right way. Just get it undone, right? So then I'm just going to pull this one off once I get it tight. Okay. I don't know if you can see what all I'm doing. Just get this pulled off. Okay, there we go. You make the tape ball. I like to keep my garbage and my recycling right under my work table. Okay, so now we have this. We're going to peel off the piece of paper. And again, you don't want to use your tool to peel. It can scratch it. Jackson knows that one from experience, right?
Yep.
So you're going to peel it off, and it should come right off. You only want to use your tool peeling tape on the paper. And you don't want to you want to be gentle. That's why I kind of like this side here. And here we have.
That side can scratch though too.
Yeah, it can scratch. You got to be gentle. Our Lockport Lions tumbler. That's what we do here in the attic for our sublimation tumblers. Please hit subscribe if you'd like to see the videos we have coming up in the future with how to do a full wrap. We're going to do how to do pens. We're going to do a couple other ones. We have a good list of how to do different sublimation products, and we might even do an Amazon unboxing coming up in the next couple of days. I got some great products coming from Amazon that I'm really excited about. So stay tuned for those, and follow us on our Facebook page.